Hey YouTube fam, thank you so much for joining me once again today. I'm not doing a tutorial, but I will be talking to you about different makeup brushes. So what I've learned is that a lot of women do not know what makeup brushes are for what, or what the use of each makeup brush is for. So today I'm here to explain to you what brush to use for what use, if that sounds right. But I'm going to start off with foundation brushes. So this first foundation brush that I have is actually by Bare Minerals. This is a Bare Minerals brush. And this is made out of, I believe this is like pony hair. So this is not a synthetic brush. You use this for your powdered foundations. What you would do is you would swirl or like move this brush around and then apply it to your face with your powdered foundation. If you're allergic to these type of bristles, I wouldn't use these because it is all natural. Like I do sometimes have a sensitivity to these brushes, but this is one of my foundation brushes that I use. Another foundation brush that I use, I got this actually in a kit. This is a synthetic brush. I actually use it today to apply the foundation that I have on. And these are the bristles. The density is really good. It doesn't absorb a lot of your foundation, and it actually is really good with applying and giving you a flawless finish. So this is really good. Another foundation brush is this one. The head, I'm sorry that these are dirty. I've been using them. I have to wash them. But the head, it looks like a styling brush. And this also gives you an airbrush feel. This is just a synthetic brush. It's really good for your foundation, and you just drop however many drops you would want to inside on the brush and just apply it all over your face. And last but not least, this is another foundation brush. It's synthetic. It's a flat top, and you would use this for liquid. You can use it for powder too, but I use it more so for my liquid foundations, and it gives me a very good flawless finish. So there are different types of foundation brushes, so you don't have to stick to one type of foundation. Okay, so my contour brushes. I love these two brushes. I use these for contour. As you can see, this one is like rose gold. It has synthetic fibers for a head, and it's already on a slant. So this is good for your powder contour kits that you have. And it's already on an angle, so already gives you the direction that you should be contouring in. I think I bought this one from like TJ Maxx, maybe for like $5. And then this one, the one that I actually used today, this is a crown brush, and this is for, I would say, like a cream contour palette that you may have. It's really good for that, and it's flat. And then the bristles on the top are like really soft, and they kind of curve over. And it's good for when you're applying your contour. What I do is I use the flat part and I contour my cheek with that. And then to soften it out, I use the top of the bristles and just blend it out a bit. So this brush is good for that. My two favorite blending brushes. Oh my god, I love these blending brushes. Okay, so these are blending brushes for like your crease. This one is a little more like, I guess you could say like tapered. So if you want to pack on more color, this is really good. This will keep that color from dispersing all over your eyelid, and it'll show most of your product. This brush is more of a fluffy brush. This is good for your transition colors. So like on the top of like my eyelid where I use my transition color, I would use this brush, and to be a little more detailed with the color, like in between the bottom lid and the top of my eyelid, I would use this in the middle to pack on more color. So that's what this brush is for. And that's a crown brush, and this brush is from Sephora. These brushes can get expensive because this brush was about $16. What I use to keep my highlight on fleek, I'm But I use these two brushes. This is a styling brush. I bought this. This is an e.l.f. brush. So I bought this from Target. And this brush is just a flat kind of brush. You can use this brush for many things. And this brush is a natural hair brush as well. So remember to check out and see if the bristles are natural or synthetic due to your skin type. So for this brush, if you would like to, or if you like baking, you can use this brush to like really get in between like your eye and pack it on. Or what I like using this for too is for my highlight. So when I want to get my highlight on or have my highlight on fleek, I just use this brush. And like on the upper corner, I don't have any on today, but I would just go back and forth motion with this. And with the styling brush, this is a smaller styling brush. What I'll do is I'll dip it in my highlight, and in circular motions, I'll just blend it out on an angle on the top part of my cheek. And both of these brushes both distribute product really, really well. Although this is a natural hair brush, and natural hair brushes usually absorb the product more than distribute it on your face, this brush is actually a very fantastic brush. So this right here is my Bare Minerals Maximum Coverage Concealer Brush. And if you don't want to get the concealer like on your hand, so when you're like highlighting, or even like when you are covering up like your imperfections, hyperpigmentations, rosacea and things like that, you can use this brush, dip it in your concealer, and before you apply your foundation, you can just pat that in wherever your hyperpigmentation or rosacea, acne or anything. This is really good. It gives maximum coverage, which means when it picks up the product, it distributes it heavily on the face. So this brush is really good for that. And even when you're like highlighting, this brush is really, really good because it is synthetic. Because of the light density of it, it really applies very well to your skin. So I think that's really good. And I use it to conceal, for my concealer, for my highlight. So I use this not before I put my foundation on, because you can use it before you put your foundation on, but I use this after I put my foundation on to apply my highlight, because it distributes it so beautifully. And this is the brush. So you want like a flat head brush like this. It doesn't have to be exactly this brush, but you want something like this. This small brush. This brush is more of a detail brush. So when you want to get into detail on your eye, you want to use something small like this. Now what you can do, if you like to have a little shimmer in your tear duct, you can dip this into your eyeshadow of shimmer, and you can just place it right in there within your tear duct, and it won't look crazy. Or like, you know, sometimes when we use larger brushes and try to put it right there, it doesn't look so good. Or even on your eyelid, if you want to do something more defined, let's say you're doing like a cut crease or anything like that, yes, you do want to use a sharp angle brush first, but when you start blending it out, you can use this brush. This brush is very small, and it's really good with holding your product and distributing the product as well. So you can use that like on the top of your eyelid when you're doing your cut crease, or even in the corner of your eyelid when you're just trying to do like a light smoky eye and just pack on a little product. This brush is amazing for that. I use this brush as a blush brush. You can use this for a contour brush as well. It's a synthetic brush that came in that brush kit. And as you can see, this brush is on an angle as well. So this brush, let's say, is blush / contour, whichever use you would like to use this brush for. I use it for my blush. I simply just dip it into my blush, and I just distribute it on my cheek in a circular angle motion. And that's what this brush is good for. Alright, so these 4 brushes are really good for eyeshadow. As you can see, they're really like flat brushes. This one is like a concealer brush, but I use it for either or. this one as well is like a concealer brush, but I use it for my eyeshadow, and this is an eyeshadow brush. So they're really flat, and what they're really good for is distributing and packing on color. So what you can do is dip this in your eyeshadow, place this on the bottom of your eyelid, and pack that on at the bottom of your eyelid, the bottom part of your eyelid. That's what these brushes are for. These two brushes are actually foundation brushes by Bare Minerals. I don't use them for foundation brushes because these brushes actually do not distribute a lot of product. It distributes the product very light. So these are two of the same brushes. I just had this one longer, so it looks a bit wider than this brush. This one looks a little more tapered. I use this for my powdered contour, pressed contour powder that I have. Because it distributes it lightly, and I don't ever want to have like a very strong contour. And this brush, I just use it for blush because I don't like to look clownish. I like my blush to be very subtle, very calm, and these are two of the same brushes. They're both natural hair brushes, and these are the Flawless Face brushes. This is also a brush that you can use in your crease. It's really good. It's a fluffy brush. It has a fluffy top. And you can just use that in the crease of your eye. Thank you so much for watching this video. I've shown you all of the brushes that are beginner friendly. If you have any questions or comments, please do comment below. And again, if you have stayed with me throughout this video, thank you so much. I'll tell you how you can follow me on other forms of social media. I appreciate your continued support. You all have a wonderful week. Bye.